Welcome to another edition of Smart Chat. Hope everything's going well for you, and I thank you for taking the time to look at this video. Check out my other two channels, Tom Brand One Thoughts. Posted 2 new videos up there. It's kind of like a vlogish channel about everything and anything. On-screen locations, shooting locations, or actually exterior shots, rather, of King of Queens and All in the Family. Check out those 2 videos. Tom Brand One as well. Funny, I promise you. Do wanted to give you some of my raw thoughts from October the 24th of 2016, and these thoughts are in no particular order whatsoever. Well, a lot of people are talking about the List of Jericho, and man, the List of Jericho is quite honestly brilliant. Quite honestly brilliant. It's catching on. It's amazing how Jericho just constantly is able to invent catchphrases. And catchphrases is what sells t-shirts. And catchphrases so much so the List is now an actual t-shirt. It is. And I like that segment with the List where someone stole his list. And he was going on and on trying to find this damn list. I like the interaction that he had with Seth Rollins in the opening segment. Seth Rollins obviously is a full-on babyface right now. He's still trying to find his way when he's going back and forth with the great promo cutters like Jericho is. He's still trying to find his way. Not his strongest suit. But he's trying. He's a full-on face right now in Seth Rollins, which is good for Seth Rollins. He's going to be able to, you know, sell his merch and put him more in the limelight. The List kind of did feel a little bit long-winded throughout Raw. Some might say that the List was the best thing on Raw. I wouldn't go that far. I'll give you that Jericho and the combination of Jericho and Kevin Owens, that pairing is the best thing that's going on in Raw. I'll give you that. But the List was not the greatest thing on Raw yesterday. It kind of felt a little bit dragged on. It was funny at first, but then it's like, all right, we get it. The List, we get it. You know? You know, in that whole, I just see it coming. I really do see it coming. I see that eventually Jericho is going to turn on Owens, or, I just see it coming. And it's shame because they should really try to keep these two together as much as humanly possible, as long as humanly possible. They work well together. They jive. People are saying that when Jericho leaves Kevin Owens, that they're doing this that way Jericho could be the champion one more time. That's what the rumor mill is saying. I don't see it. And Jericho's going to be gone for a long period of time. It's coming up soon. It's coming out with a new record. Coming out with a new book. And quite honestly, I just don't see it. As much as I see this split coming, man, I really would wish that they would keep them longer together. Kind of felt bad for Curtis Axel. It was in his home state of Minnesota. Got the fans behind him, saying, you know, he's the son of Mr. Perfect, the grandson of Larry the Axe. Everyone was behind him. He was facing Bo Dallas, and he still loses to Bo Dallas. Felt bad for Curtis Axel, man. I've always liked Curtis Axel, and I just feel bad, man. I feel bad. Speaking of bad, or I don't know bad, but how awkward was this when Paul Heyman was trying to test the waters and trying to have the crowd go against, trying to mimic try to push the crowd into cheering against Brock Lesnar, as Brock Lesnar made his appearance on Raw last night, and Brock Lesnar is from Minnesota. That wasn't happening. The crowd was mostly for Brock Lesnar. They were booing whenever they heard Goldberg. And Paul Heyman was trying, just didn't work out that way. And honestly, I think that Brock Lesnar is going to be, he's going to be the crowd favorite in this. Remember, when they're having Survivor Series is when the match, their match was announced for Survivor Series. It's going to be in Canada, and Brock Lesnar lives in Canada right now. So, I think he's going to get a huge pop in Canada. Got a huge pop in Minnesota, which is where he was from. I think the boos are going to be tremendous for Goldberg, which is probably something that the WWE does not want, considering the fact that that Goldberg is rumored to going into the Hall of Fame, and his first appearance in so many years, and over 10 years, and you know, I think we need a Goldberg appearance next week to kind of see you know, let Goldberg do a move or two on some jobber. Let's see how he is. I think the fans would get into that, to see how he is, or you know, how's his physique? Does he still have it? By doing a quick kind of scrummage with someone. I don't know. I think that's something that we would need to see. We would like to see, and the fans would like to see, just so the critics could kind of be silenced, because everyone, you remember the last match, that match sucked at WrestleMania between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. You know, hopefully the match will be a little bit different now at Survivor Series. Though, I don't know, they're both 10 years older. Goldberg, what, pushing 50? I don't know. Still some time for that build, and we'll see what happens. Speaking of build, you know, Hell in a Cell is supposed to be a build of people that hate each other, can't stand each other. As much as Mick Foley was trying to build that up, the Hell in a Cell between Sasha and Charlotte, Mick Foley close to being in tears as to explaining what he went through. I just don't get the feeling it wasn't built the right way, where Charlotte and Sasha, it doesn't come across that they hate each other. Hell in a Cell has to be something hateful, at each other's neck, at each other's throat, interfering in each other's matches. I just don't get that impression. Therefore, I guess I'm really not that into that match, even with the promo that Mick Foley did. And really, Hell in a Cell is supposed to represent violence. You're not going to see that in a women's match, are you? Just can't see it happening. Speaking of a build, the best build for this Hell in a Cell, not Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins to a point. But the best build for the Hell in a Cell match is between Rusev and Roman Reigns. Rusev cut a good promo. The only thing is, clearly he was reading the cue cards if you watch that video very closely. Doesn't that take a little bit away from the promo? I think it does. Why can't wrestlers just read off of... Not read at all. Why can't they just have bullet points? a team, and I'm constantly just a little bit taken aback by Gallows and Anderson. They lose yet again to Cass and Enzo. They're just constantly losing. I said it once, I'll say it again. At this point, do you take them seriously, Gallows and Anderson? They really, really, really need to win the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. You had a match there. I forget who it was. I think it was, it was Sheamus versus, I think it was Kofi, I want to say, or Big E, or one of the guys. And the team that constantly hates each other, can't get along, is winning. If you don't see this storyline progressing a mile away, look who's going to be the champions at Hell in a Cell. It's going to be Sheamus and Cesaro, reliving yet another storyline from, storylines of Kane and Daniel Bryan being tag team champs, which will eventually, again, after a while, spill over to a bigger feud. How absolutely horrible was that segment between Dana Brooks and Bayley? The crowd absolutely shitted on it, and rightfully so. I hope all is well, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon.